That's sweet.
I see.
We should be live. Alright, cool. There you go. So, what's up, everybody? It's your boy at the Beef Dev, back at it again. This time I'm teaching Robbert here, Rocky Candy.
Yeah, I'm Rocky Candy.
How to do. we're never good at intros. I'm gonna showing him how to do some pixel art stuff. If you were here, is it like 2 Thursdays ago? I did like an intro, and when I was muted at the beginning, so this time I'm not muted.
Yes.
That's very important. Alright, so I guess let me just get right to it. So, I didn't turn on the thing.
I'm excited, chat. I like learning art stuff.
There you go.
It's way more fun than the programming stuff.
The programming stuff is fun in the sense that like it's challenging every time, you know?
Yeah, I feel like accomplished when you figure stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna, I guess, move this thing above my camera and everything for now.
But look, chat, there's pretty colors in art. Look at the blue and the yellow. Pretty.
You know, like side note, this scheme or whatever that's like a default is inspired by, I'm pretty sure, by Piet Mondrian's work, which all he did was do geometric shapes. I think he was like a math teacher. And just like squares, and I think he only used primary colors, which is red, blue, and yellow, to make compositions with just squares and black lines. So that's pretty neat.
Wow, even in art, even a math teacher can be more of an artist than I can. Okay,
he just took it super math. Like he mathed his way through art, right? So
that's crazy.
Color theory I meant to spell continuous, but I put continuous.
The plot thickens.
Right, so how do you pick color schemes, and what are good and bad color schemes? So here you can see an example to the right. There's like a less saturated, I guess, version of the scene, and then to the left is a way more saturated version. So like almost everything in art, it depends. So for older games like the old Mario or whatever, everything was saturated all the way up, because it was just programmer art. They were just like inputting colors. And for the older monitors, it made more sense. But for modern, I guess, monitors and displays and whatever, the example to the right is usually better, because you don't want to have like every part of the artwork call attention. You want to have central, I guess, focal points. Like here, your eye goes from like the little tarp of the stand to the yellow flowers and then the clouds, right? And it just goes back and forth. That's a good sign of composition, which is helped by color theory. And here I have, I shouldn't have gotten into PowerPoint mode.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Yeah, here I have a link, right? I have this really dope tool that's free online. It's called Adobe Color. So here it lets you choose, I guess, gives you basically your color palettes that you can use, and then you can move everything, and it moves accordingly to whatever you're moving. You can choose different types of color combinations, and all of these. It's better to mess around with them, and I guess if you want later on, look up all the terms. But they're just different combinations of colors that are proven to work, like these different patterns of colors. So this is all using like the color wheel. So I remember from last time, color wheel, right? So analogous colors, I think, are just colors that go well together, that are close to each other. So it'd be like it's pink and then this like bluish, right? And there's a whole bunch of different types of colors, so just feel free to mess around with. Oh, actually, before I forget, I'm gonna post this on my chat so people can access it if they wanna see the presentations and follow along. Alright, cool. So this whole thing is it helps you, and one of the best ways to learn is to look at an artwork somebody else made that's super dope, and then try and understand why it's dope and try and emulate it. So in this case, we'll be emulating the color, I guess, the color palettes they have. So I'm sure you have a dope example on this website, right? So if you go to extract theme, and then you drag and drop preferred image. I'm going to drag and drop this image by one of my favorite artists of all time, Frank Frazetta. and then it just automatically picks the color scheme, and then you can be changing like, oh, they want to be colorful, bright, muted tones, deep, dark, or whatever, and it just gives you color palettes that you can follow and just like jump right in without needing to know a whole bunch of color theory, because it does a lot of the mixing and matching for you.
I see. And so the purpose of these colors, like, why do you want them to match again?
It's not that you want them to match per se, but it's more so that they're appealing to the eye. Because all these color combinations and color like formulas, they've been like tried and tested. It makes your artwork more appealing if you use a specific combo of colors. I mean, of course, like everything else, it depends, and you can put your own colors if you want. Don't necessarily match these schemes. But it's just like to get you started, I guess. So
I see. That's kind of cool. So it's like a super scientific way of kind of like appealing to people without them knowing about it, or what?
Yeah, type of deal. It's like whenever you see like any of the Avengers posters, right? Like their specific colors, so they can appeal to so they can inspire that like specific feeling. And part of it is like psychology and color theory, which is all this.
Now that I can get behind.
Yeah, I figure something like this might be helpful because learning color theory, it takes a hot second. So in the meantime, you can use this, and then as you're learning color theory on your own, then you can reinforce your own teachings.
Okay, next question. How do you decide what gets what color then? So like these are the colors that I want to use, right? Like for the most part. How do I decide how much of what color or where to put these colors?
Okay, so that again goes back to using reference, right? So like if I want to make I guess an image that's similar to this as far as like either composition or color wise, then I'd be like, oh, okay, so this is the color that they're using for skin, and this is like the hue of it. So in my character, if it's going to be showing skin, then I'm going to have it in a similar way, even if it's a completely different post or whatever. It just helps kind of looking at reference are your inspirations and then melding all together. Because I think there was this quote that saying great art is hiding inspiration, right? So all you got to do is look at things that you think are dope, smash them into a completely new either composition or idea, and take the best elements from each piece. Because a lot of art is just remixing, if you want to think of it that way.
I see. Okay.
Right. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think it is.
Awesome. All right, so back to the PowerPoint slide. So we were at color theory, right? Explain that basic thing, and here's the link. The next part. So specifically for pixel art, a lot of times less is more, in the sense that like, so this texture on the left is supposed to be like a tiling grass texture, and the one on the right is also supposed to be like a tiling grass texture. So as you can see, the one on the left is a little too busy, and from a distance you kind of lose what it even is.
Yeah.
So a lot of times less is more when it comes to pixel art in general.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell it was grass, to be honest.
Yeah. There's some of the mistakes that like 3D artists like myself make. Because in 3D games, you do have like a million blades of grass, right?
Yeah.
But for pixel art, just because of the constraints and the nature of it, doesn't always work. So remember, less is more.
Okay, that makes sense.
Until it isn't.
Until it isn't?
Yeah, because
what does that mean? Oh, next slide.
Next slide, yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so this is like beautiful pixel art from, I think it was, I forgot the game's called. Blasphemous, yeah.
Blasphemous.
And all of this is pixel art, and they use scale and adding more detail to convey, I guess, different themes. And in the cutscenes, it's just really beautifully rendered pixel art. So it depends the purposes you're using them for. If you're using them for games, then you want to go for something simple like the slide above, the example of the grass. If you're doing like a, I don't know, like a screenshot or like a cinematic or like just a cool portrait or something, then you can probably get away with going more complex.
Oh, I see. Like so like on the right picture, you can see like the little shadows and that plate in the back of his in the back, like on his back, but in the left picture you can't really see it, so don't even bother like adding in those little shadows.
Yeah, because it only serves to make your image muddier if you have a lot of detail in that really tiny space.
I see. Oh, so is that why people like the League of Legends people like their like models are like really ugly,
Yeah,
like not very detailed compared to their like splash arts.
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly why. And even the environments are oftentimes modeled with a lot more detail because they're
Yeah.
bigger, right?
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Yeah. Right. Next slide. So like I was saying, it depends. So here's a great example of like how it is in the game, right? So the character, they're using 3 to 4 tones for like the steel, and everything else is kind of simplistic. And the colors in the background are muted, so that the foreground actually pops out. And they use a lot of detail in the background because I guess to convey scale and a whole bunch of different things like that, right? So I mean, all these rules that I'm telling you, even from the beginning, like they're like hard set rules when you're starting out, but as you start finding different uses where you have different needs, then those things change. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, like yeah. So basically, if you have like the artistic ability and know how, you can start adding in those little details, so long as they don't make the like entire thing real messy.
Exactly.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, and like pretty much this is like part of my workflow whenever we're making anything for a game. It's like, okay, let's say we need, I don't know, some really buff dude, right? So my first question is like, is it gonna be animated? Because if it's gonna be animated, then I have to think about topology and rigging and whatever as I'm designing it. But if it's gonna be a statue, then I can model it a completely different way, even though I'm still following the same general, make it in ZBrush, take it to max, retopologize, and texture.
Yeah.
So everything changes depending on its purpose.
Okay. Yeah, I see it.
Okay. So next, outlining. What is the correct style? So here we have 2 examples, and the answer is both. It depends on what you're making. So I personally prefer the one on the right, and because I just like using different tones instead of using like dark outlines with pixel art. But they're both perfectly valid, and it depends for whatever aesthetic you're going for, and it depends on, I guess, the purpose of the game. If the whole game is outlined with like this heavily, I guess, outline theme of Robbert, it might look weird if you have items that aren't outlined like that.
Okay.
So a big part of like pixel art when it comes to making more than just like a single muffin, right? It's consistency. You don't want to make like, going back to the example, you don't want to make everything look super like detailed like this, and then just have only your character be this simple but not everything else, because then it looks weird, like it doesn't belong.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, cool.
So I remember one of the other times you were telling me that people are moving away from like hard shadows or like hard outlines. Is that what you mean here?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just like a general art trend that's going on now. But like as soon as another thing like Cuphead comes out, people are going to be back into making like thick outlines because that game's really cool and it has thick outlines. Type deal.
Oh, okay, I see. So it just kind of depends on what you want to go for.
Exactly. Yeah, all of it depends on the mood that you want to go for and the stylistic choices you want to make. What matters is that you choose one and stick with it, so that it's all consistent.
Okay.
And that all can change from artwork to artwork and game to game. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Next slide. Shading.
Oh no.
So basically, this is a quick breakdown that's more sciencey as to how like, I guess, lighting works. So you have like, this is supposed to represent like the rays of light. So direct light bounces off and has specular reflections, which are these like highlights. So these like lighter areas. Light usually goes behind an object and it bounces off a little bit. So there's like a slightly lighter tone here. And then there's the diffused reflection, right? So basically it reflects, every surface reflects to a degree, some more than others. And it kind of reflects with like a tint of whatever color the object happens to be. And all of that, it's I guess, I don't forget the word is, but okay, basically the way that the sun, because the sun is a specific color, hits an object, changes the way that the object itself is. So what that means is, if you're making like a red apple in a game, right? Your instinct would be to just color it red, because you know apples are red.
Yeah.
But the right answer, if you want to go for realistic, it's like red with some slight hints of orange, because that's the color of the sun.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So yeah. So it would be. Is this like an always kind of deal where it'd always be like the color of the sun
It
if the
depends
sun's
on your
hitting
light
it?
source. Like if you have artificial lighting, like white lights, or you have
Like a
neon
lamp or
lights or
something. I see.
lamps, like it all changes. And there's the different hues and values of like lamps. So you could have like yellow light bulbs or red light bulbs or off-white light bulbs, you know?
Okay, I
So just
see.
something to consider. And all this, it's just like you don't have to worry about too much for pixel art. But when you start diving into actual digital painting and just painting in general, the things you have to take into account.
Okay.
Okay, and then over to the right, I have an example of like what really successful shading looks like for pixel art. So in the first figure is just like the base color, and the second figure is just the base color and a light shadow. And in the third one, it's a shadow, a slightly lighter color, and a highlight, right?
Yeah.
So for the most part, for a lot of pixel art, it's fine if you stop at step 3 or in between 2 and 3. Because you don't want everything to be super intensely detailed. Like for it, again, it depends on what you're using it for. If it's for a game, then you probably want to stop at 3 at the most.
Yeah.
For bigger items, and then if it's just like a cool picture you're making for like a wallpaper, then I would say stop at 4. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's basically just like less important things, probably like a 3, and like your really important things maybe a 4.
Yeah, exactly. So that's actually a really good point for composition, right? So if everything's like ridiculously high detail, then it loses focus as to what you should be looking at, right? Let's say if you make I don't know, a drawing of Broly, and then you also make a ridiculously high detail environment of the city that he's destroying, then your eye doesn't know where to go. And the way you mitigate this in like the type of games that we're making, like the 3D games, is by having camera blur, having a whole bunch of other things, and make sure that the main character is the focal point and not everything else around him.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I see.
Okay, cool. Right, so next slide. So these are just examples of dope pixel art done by my friend Alex, the guy that helped us with the map. And he follows a lot of the principles that I was talking about, right? So bigger, I guess creatures like this really big one allows it to have more detail just because of the nature of pixel art. And he's using color palettes that don't really clash with the background.
Yeah.
He's using outlines. Some of them are dark outlines. Some of them are just darker shades. For this case, like the main character, so you don't want it to get too blurry. He's really only using 2 or 3 shades at most of the different colors. And as for these enemies, he's also using like 2 or 3. So it's like this darker one, lighter one, and a base coat.
Okay, so I guess I can understand like to me it seems like everything on the right fits kind of well together. Especially with the background, it looks fine. Why is the main character like those colors? They seem kind of like too bright and too like out of place.
So this whole game, I think, was supposed to be like a side-scroller contrast style game. So in those games where you're getting shot at from like all over the place, it's really important that you never lose where the player is. That's why the character needs to stand out ridiculously compared to everything else.
Okay, I get that. Yeah, that's really smart actually.
Yeah, and it also, by doing that, it plays thematically into like your character doesn't belong in this world. Yeah. And your character stands out from everything. These are also just close-ups of like the characters themselves. And again, just 2 to 3 colors. And he uses this technique of shading that's called Tethering, which is basically you see like these extra squares on the side.
Extra squares where?
Like on the thigh of the character to the left, or where the shadow is. There's some like extra squares sticking out.
Yeah.
So that's a technique called dithering that's a little bit more advanced. And all it is to, from a distance, to make it look like the shadow is falling off.
Okay.
Instead of being like a hard line, how it is in most of the things that we've covered so far.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do this, but it's just something to keep in mind that it's a thing that exists, and you can definitely look further into it. And I really recommend for inspiration for pixel art and stuff. Go to Artstation, put the filter into 2D art, and just type in pixel art, and a lot of really dope shit comes out all the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. So, how do you improve in general when doing any of this, right? So, you didn't have the PowerPoint before, so that's not bad. But now you do, so you can like go over it. Yeah. The main thing is you gotta practice a lot, and you're gonna mess up a lot. And the important thing when you're practicing is like actually finish through your practice. Don't stop halfway because you're scared that it doesn't look as great as you want it to look. And then after you're practicing a bit, get some feedback. Like you can ask me or other art boys. Most art boys are more than happy to help you. Look at what professional artists are doing, so you can have somewhere to compare yourself to. Like you don't want to compare. Okay, so this is like it's with a caveat, right? Like I wouldn't compare my art to someone that's been in the game industry for 20 years. I'd compare it to people that have about the same level of experience that I do, because that's around like the skill level that I should be. And of course, there's outliers, but by and large, that's how you should compare yourself. And constantly, you're always gonna find yourself improving if you do that and challenging yourself. And you're like, oh, they did this really cool thing. I bet I could do it if I try it. You know?
Okay. And so, like you said, to practice. Should I be practicing like basically copying someone else's art, or should I be trying to like do my own stuff and just try to take the techniques from other people's art?
Well, at the point that you're at, I would say try to imitate other people's art, because that builds like the muscle memory, and you try and as you're doing it, you start growing like your ability to be really detail oriented. And see exactly what they did. And then as you're doing it, try and think of like, okay, so they put the shadow here because they want to take attention away from this part of the art piece or whatever.
Okay.
So now that you have the PowerPoint, I'd encourage you to go look at art and then look at the elements of art and try to identify them in people's art. And try and understand why they're doing the decisions that they're doing within the canvas. Like sometimes they just do cool shit to make cool shit with no rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
But more often than not, it's everything's done with an intent. And figuring out the part of intent and understanding it is gonna go a long way into helping your own artwork.
Okay.
And all that being said, you can totally still make your own shit. Like it's fine. You don't have to only copy like the masterworks, but it really helps build your foundations, and that's what helps you improve the fastest.
Yeah, I see. Now I was just asking because I don't know if like for programming stuff, I just copy stuff all the time, right?
Yeah.
Because that's how you learn. So I was wondering if it was the same here. But okay, that makes sense, yeah.
Wait, it's kind of like how like programmer, you copy it, and then you look through the code to understand what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same deal.
Cool. Okay.
All right, assignment and homework. Because I'm not sure if we're going to be able to finish this assignment.
Oh, no.
So I need you to finish a single piece of pixel art. It must include an outline. It needs to have at least 3 colors.
Okay.
And it needs to have some shading, meaning it has to be like, at the very least, like Mr. Buff Bones' hat, right? It has a light color as an outline, and it has like a dark color to, I guess, give it form.
Okay.
Does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Now, the next part. So last time I think I messed up when we were looking at references, because we each got different references, so it was kind of hard to follow along and help you out. So here, now that you have PowerPoint, here are reference images that we're going to be working with.
Okay.
So choose one of these. So if you want later on for the homework assignment, you could just send me an image, preferably like a logo or a thing like that, from whatever show you like, and then I'll approve it or find one that's more appropriate. But for the time being, what's that?
So we're gonna pick one of these and try to what?
And try to replicate it in pixel art.
Oh, okay. Wait, is this the assignment?
The assignment / homework.
Okay, so I gotta pick one with 3 colors in it then, no? Or...
Well, that's the cool thing. So you get to, like the one from Gurren Lagann, right?
Yeah.
That's only really 2 colors. Yeah. That means you gotta add a third color, which would be, in my case, I would add like around the outline, like a darker shade of red. So then I give it like shadow, and I'm adding the third color. And images like the Dragon Ball Z one, if you zoom into it, which I'm not sure if you can zoom in here. Maybe.
I can't. Yeah. I'm in presentation mode.
Oh, okay. Well, when you exit presentation mode, if you zoom into it, like the bonds themselves are separated, like in like hard shading.
Oh, so, yeah.
So that would kind of help you give you an idea.
Okay.
Okay, so out of all this, I think we should probably go with the kunai now, and then for the homework assignment, choose something else.
Okay, we can start there, yeah.
Because that seems simple enough, and it has like clear, defined edges, so it's easier to actually do the shading.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a screenshot of the kunai, so I can have my reference image on the side. So feel free to do the same, or just have the PowerPoint on a different monitor.
Yeah, let's do that.
Alright. I'm setting up mine real quick. Give me a hot second. Okay, and do you still have the website for the pixel art?
No. Is it here in the PowerPoint?
Nope, it should be in the second slide. Right. And it's pixelart.com. There we go. And I'm going to move my display capture so I can show up there. Oh, there we go. Back. So let me know whenever you're ready. Actually, let me pull up your stream. See what you're doing.
I know. Get that image full screen. You know what? I'm just gonna screenshot it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I ended up doing. I screenshotted it, and remember I told you about this software called PureRef?
Yeah, I remember vaguely.
So that's what I'm using right now. You can see in my stream, I have like this floating square where I just copy pasted the image, and then I can move it and arrange other images if I want to. And I set it up so hierarchically it goes above everything else. So it goes over any screen, and I can just freely draw while it's there. And it's free.
Okay, I'm just gonna throw it here for now.
Alright, nice.
Okay, let's see. So, start drawing. You didn't save. New drawing.
Also, here in this website, in the feature tab, there's a lot of really dope pixel art too. So you can check some of that stuff out later.
Let's see, they have a rocket ship challenge.
Yes,
the width, should I
just leave it up? Yeah, keep it 100 to 100 just to keep it easy.
Okay.
And all of this is literally 100 pixels by 100 pixels, so don't expect it to be big when you export it.
Oh, I see. Okay. See if we can even do this. I'm not good at drawing. Let me see. So, I guess if I draw, I'm just gonna draw one. Let me see. So.
Yeah, all right. While you're doing that, I'm gonna set up my drawing tablet so I can flex.
Oh, dude, I'm not good at drawing circles at all.
Hey, just take it slow. Alright, so right off the bat, that circle's too thin. Look at your reference.
What do you mean too thin?
Like the width of your...
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to get it like circle-ish. You're saying like this middle part should be way thicker, right?
Exactly.
Oh wait, that means this whole thing should be smaller, no? Because it's too big.
Yeah. Remember, before you keep going, remember it's usually better to like make tabs, like more layers, right? Mm-hmm. And then start drawing. You don't want to mess up your background layer. Yeah, because it takes a hot second to fix like that.
And do I want to? Can I separate like all three? Like say the circle, the like shaft and then the actual kunai in
Yeah,
different layers?
you
Okay.
can if you want.
Okay, so let's see.
So I'm gonna show you a technique that I do often when doing more complex things like a kunai. Is I don't know if you look at my stream.
Yes.
Okay. So I usually change the color to red or blue, and then just do like a really rough like sketch of like the area. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just to give me like a rough estimate. And it's okay if I go over it and realize that things aren't quite right, because this is the time to fix it. So right now here, my issue is that the knife is too small compared to this, right? So I'm gonna, so because I sketched out fast and I realized that early enough, I can just delete that layer. Oh, I'm gonna hide it. Sorry. Actually, so I'm gonna have this layer here as reference. I'm gonna lower the opacity, and then a layer above it, I'm gonna triangle. And this is just to, you're supposed to do this very loose, so you can get your shapes out fast and figure out your problem. So now the tip of the kunai looks good. And I'm just gonna keep getting the base shape. Same with the shaft. And now I feel like that this looks a lot better than the first iteration, and all of this was done pretty fast. And having that done, then I make this other layer disappear, lower the opacity of my current one, and I make another layer, and then that's when I go in with like my black ink, which in this case is the black tool, and then do the actual outline.
Okay, so let's see.
Yeah, just basically setting up guidelines for you to follow later on.
Okay, so oops.
You know, when I was looking for reference and stuff for this lesson, I felt like such a boomer, man.
Why?
Because I was like, popular animes of 2020. I was like, oh wow, I don't know any of these. I think I defaulted to like Naruto because I was big back in my day.
Back in my day, we watched Naruto and Dragon Ball Z.
And we ran with our hands behind our backs.
Okay, so I did this rough sketch, right? So
right,
I think it's too fat for starters, right?
Yeah.
So if I wanted to start from here, I'd maybe like that, and then like, oops, like that.
Okay, yeah.
Now it's crooked. So down the middle here, so right there.
There you go.
Like that ish.
That looks much better.
I clean it up so I can see it.
Yeah, I mean, either we're gonna clean it up on your or you do the outline. So the important thing is that you know where things are. So if it helps you to actually erase the lines here, then go right ahead.
Okay, and then there's the line down the middle. Oops. Well, now we know that the middle's over here. Okay. And then I think this shaft is okay, right?
It needs to be shorter. Like there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Shorter, like here?
Okay, go up a little bit. Like there's like a delay, so okay, there. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then whoa, what is that? Oh.
You know what? Pretty soon you're gonna start understanding artist problems, like digital artist problems.
Oh, why?
So I get this a lot. Where like, so I don't draw too much in like pencil anymore. But when I was doing the transition between digital and pencil, I would try and like do Control C when I was drawing with pencil, and I was like, wait, this doesn't quite work. Alright, so from what I'm looking at right now on your screen, yeah, the circle could be a little bit rounder, like the one in the middle. So yeah.
See, I make them real lopsided. I'm not really.
Hey, just take your time, man. There's no rush. Yeah, that looks a lot more round.
Oh, which one? I deleted quite a few.
The one you just deleted, but it's fine.
Oh well.
Well, that one will do.
This one will do for the outside or the inside?
For the outside.
Okay, so the inside one would be... Is it chunky? Kind of chunky, isn't it? So like...
Yes, you're going to make a tiny circle.
Like that-ish?
Yeah, like that.
Like that?
Yeah. Okay, now looking back at the reference image, I noticed that your kunai blade is the right width, but it's not long enough.
It's not long enough? Okay. So that means down. You'll delete all that.
Yeah. So if you look at mine and the reference image here, right? It's like an acute angle. Right now yours is a little bit bigger than the acute angle. So you look at my screen, right?
Yeah.
Right. So like this part, you got it down perfectly. So you just gotta make sure this is longer because this is about a length and a half of this. If that helps.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I need to go...
That looks way better. Because the nature of what we're doing it kind of loosely. Your middle point isn't exactly in the middle, and that's fine. If you can see in mine, it also has like this jagging here.
Yeah.
And that's just because I did it at an angle, so don't worry too much about that.
Oh, okay. So this should be fine for now?
Yeah, I think so. So now it's just going to be a matter of you deciding where these top angle lines go in yours, and then you'll be pretty much good to go. Then I can show you a trick that I do for doing any sort of wrap or anything. Meantime,
and just angle lines in the... Yeah.
Yeah, so these pictures, they're like in an orthographic perspective. Do you know what that is?
Like a top down?
Yeah, but it's a perspective that doesn't really exist in real life.
Oh, okay.
So you see mine are like at an angle, because these blades should be like at an angle.
Oh, I see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. At any point, let me know if I'm talking nonsense. More than happy to clarify.
No, I think you get it.
Alright.
Okay. My blade chunky.
Little chunky.
It's a little chunky, yeah. And the tip is rounded, but it's okay.
It certainly looks a lot more like the reference than the first draft.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's also why I like having that like first draft. Because then when I'm like unsure, I'm like, oh, am I doing the right thing? And it's like, it looks better.
How do you do the tip? Okay.
Alright, so now what I would do is do like a black outline around everything. Now that you kind of finalize the shape. But just try and do it crispier. So those areas that you miss and you clean up now, you don't have to clean them up if you're going to do a black outline. Because you know where they should be fixed, right?
Yeah, so like in here, like less chunky stuff like that. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Okay. So now it's another point about outlines before you do your whole black outline. So last time I told you to do a black outline with me.
Mm-hmm.
Here you can choose whether or not you want to do a black outline or you want to do different shades of whatever color you're gonna end up using.
Oh, so like a darker or lighter red on the edges. Is that what you mean?
Like okay, so like the actual, I guess, blade, instead of doing like a sharp edge, you could do. Oh no, yeah, it's still be sharp edge, but instead of doing like a black edge, you could do like a lighter gray or like a darker gray, not necessarily black.
Oh, I see. You're talking
And
about the cupcake, right?
yeah, exactly. So you can take your pick of how you want to do this kunai cupcake.
I wonder if it'd be easier to do the black outline to start.
Oh, generally it is.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I'm gonna try and do the.
Well, I'm no quitter here. Oh.
I think I'm gonna try and do the cupcake method just so I can illustrate it.
See, how light should I go though?
What's that?
How light should I go?
Okay, so right now that's the wrap part, right? So I would do a closer to a white because that's what you're gonna be coloring the wrap as, right? Because the wrap is white. So they look really light gray.
Really light gray. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, like that.
Okay, it's totally lost with the other gray, but okay.
Whoa.
Right?
I just saw that. Yeah. Okay, so what we can do there is go to your background layer, press plus, select black.
Okay.
And make clean layer, black, and then paint bucket. Actually, no, don't do black, don't do black. Do bright yellow. Yeah, it's a good one. Because we're not going to be using the yellow.
Okay. Paint bucket the whole thing?
Yep, and then paint bucket the background. That way, when you're using grays or whatever, it doesn't necessarily get lost.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So
I ended up doing like green instead of yellow, but either way, it's fine.
Mine looks like a McDonald's drawing.
Part of the McDonald's clan.
The McDonald's clan. So for the blade, like outline, it should still be like a black grayish, right?
So it should be like a dark gray, but not a black. Always make sure you're in the right layer because I was just in the wrong layer right now.
Oh no.
That's fine. Control C.
Ah, good. I think I'm in the right layer, yeah.
It always sucks when you think you're in the right layer, but you weren't.
Just like thinking you were muted, or you were not muted on stream, but you were.
Just like that. I don't know why you gotta keep bringing that up, but yes. It's a perfect example. You know, for the longest time, because, I mean, you know, I'm like partially colorblind.
Yeah.
I always gravitated to doing things in just black and white because that made a lot more sense to me. I didn't realize why until I was like, oh, I'm colorblind. So
like life-changing for you?
Oh yeah, I mean, in some degrees, it gave me like a better perspective and better understanding of myself.
That's cool.
Yeah, but anyway, what I was getting at is because of that, I hardly ever did like the cupcake style that we're doing right now.
Oh, okay.
So is it like thick outlines for everything?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. We got that done. lower that opacity. I feel like this website doesn't like me using my pen tablet. I'm using this thing like on my drawing tablet, and it just keeps dragging my monitor to the left a little bit. Like it's like the view.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's fine. There's other software you can download, but I figured this is a lot more accessible than having to download software.
I mean, I can download whatever software you need, so.
That's true. Excuse me, Mr. Moneybags.
Oh, I mean, if it's free. If it's not free, then no thank you.
Yeah. There's some like really good paid softwares that are all over pixel art, and there's some pretty okay free ones.
I see. Okay, so for the you said the other outlines, should they be darker or lighter, like going in?
For what exactly?
Wait, let me see. I can figure this out. Oh, they should be lighter then, on the left, right? Like for the inside.
Okay, so for the outlines, I would keep them consistent, one color, and I would just worry about like adding light and shadow towards the end of the, like after you set on your base colors and everything.
Oh, I see. Okay, so can I just paint bucket this whole thing?
What's that?
Can I just paint bucket the whole inside then?
Okay, so look at what I did in mine. So I chose a lighter gray for the actual inside of the steel. And then I did like a dark gray for the outline. Because if I do like a dark gray for the inside, then these lines are going to get lost. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Alright.
Hola, bruh, what are we creating exactly? We're trying to copy this, Invader. We're trying to make these.
Hi, Invader.
Don't make fun of my art, okay? I'm new.
It's all a learning process.
What are those? They're called kunais. They're like knives.
I think actual kunais are farming tools, aren't they?
Probably. That's what most of the tools were, or the ninja tools were.
That's true. I went to like an Asian market a couple weeks ago. Oh, also, I'm stopping right there. I would do a lighter gray still than what you're using.
Lighter? Okay.
Yeah. So I went to like an Asian market, and they had like you know that weapon that they had in Nuyasha? That was like a hooked blade with a stick and a chain. It was like a farming tool.
Yeah.
They had that there, and like for a hot second, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy this." I'm like, "No, I don't need it. I don't need to have a lawn."
You're gonna just so hey, you could start a lawn mowing business with the traditional tools.
Yep. I can get about a lawn done every couple weeks.
Hi, Eric with a CK.
Should remember.
Dude.
But I'm like super bad with names.
It's okay, Soshi. I would never make fun of your artwork, Robert. Well, nah, I would. Yeah, I know you would. Don't even pretend like you wouldn't. Okay, so then I did one part, so now for the second part. So wait, okay, so I know like in the reference.
Okay, are you in the same layer as the outline?
I am.
Okay, so if you're doing that, then yeah, you can just paint bucket it. I thought you were in a separate layer, like the way that I'm doing it. Because for me, if you look at my screen, these are separate layers.
You know, that's a good idea. I'm just CC. No, CC. Okay. So I should. It's actually a smart idea, right, to do a separate layer.
It generally so. It's like it's not right or wrong way of doing it. It's just my way. If I make mistakes, it's easier to correct.
Yeah, I'll go back and redo it. Okay, so like the right side of the blade is like darker, like in the reference. Are we just gonna paint over all this gray that we just did?
Yes.
Okay.
So don't worry too much about that.
I feel like doing all this aim training should have my like fine motor skills really tuned, but they're really not.
Well, because it's different muscles you're engaging than when you're doing like the Call of Duty shoot 'em man type deals.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just gonna chill and listen to the beautiful angelic nerd talk going on right now. Hey.
Let me know whenever you're gonna start doing like the handle thing, because I want to show you a trick. Actually, you know what? Heck you! I want to show you a trick right now.
How dare you?
Alright, so you're looking at my screen?
Oh, give me.
Sure.
I messed up.
Happens to the best of us.
Okay, I'm looking at your screen.
Alright, so this is like the base for my wrap, right? And I made mine a little bit messier than the ones here, and I didn't do a straight line because that makes it a little bit more interesting. And it's in a separate layer. So the trick that I do is, so I do like just lines crossing the thing, like this. And then makes it look like it's actually wrapping around because I did it at an angle. So I don't necessarily know how this would wrap around. I'm just kind of making it up as I go along.
Oh, okay.
So I hope that makes sense.
Okay. I'll give it a shot. Once I get there, I'm pretty far behind.
Yeah, it's fine. So another thing you can do is, so the outlines you're doing, oh, you are in a separate layer, right?
Yeah.
If you're in a separate layer, then you can just color the whole thing, right? And just like do it like a big block and then paint bucket it and layer it, like the way that I'm doing it. So you look at my screen again. So all of this, I'm gonna move this layer up. You can see it. All this is like one solid shape that I did, and then I just moved it down so that it's below the line work. So you don't have to do each quadrant, you can just do the whole thing. Does that make sense?
Oh, that really does. Okay.
Yeah.
So just do the. Oh wait, no. I'm just doing the inside. It's literally one effing letter 2 times. You can handle this, Robert, with your tiny brain. Just kidding. Don't freak. I'm actually offended right now. I failed so many English classes. Eric can tell you.
Wait, did you?
Yeah, I failed English. Remember?
I don't remember. Wait.
With what's his face? The dude.
Who took English?
Yeah.
Oh yes, Ochoa.
Yeah, Ochoa. Oh, that was his name. Yeah, you actually remember his name. Dang.
I just remember he hated. Okay, you know why I remember it actually? It's a cringe memory.
Why?
So remember we had the class of persuasive speak. And I remember asking the science teacher we had for an extension or something. And then while she was still in the classroom, I was there gloating about how I used persuasive speech to get her to give me the extension when it was really just her being nice. So that's why I remember it, because I was like gloating about it like a jackass. Should really be like that sometimes, huh?
Yeah. I can't believe I think I was the only one who failed that class.
Well, yeah, I can't be good at everything, right?
Oh, I mean, I only failed because I didn't really do anything.
That's fair.
Of course you are. Always when I say something basically anything, yeah, you really just defend me all the time. Don't worry about it. Okay, so I have my outline. Oh, wait, I need to do the inside, right? And you did it white?
Yeah, I did like an off-white, not like 100% white, but pretty close. I said not 100% white.
I went back down.
Okay.
Wait, how come it's not switching? Oh, I gotta do that.
You gotta select it.
See, it's not 100% white.
Okay.
Oh, this is more gray than white. I don't like that. We're gonna do 100% white.
All right.
I'm just messing.
hey, you do what you want, man. Or like, all it can do is advise you and guide you, but you make the choices at the end of the day.
How can you even tell how much white? That's 100. Oh, that's a lot.
What was that?
Trying to get like a good white.
What, did you say, how can you even tell it's 100?
Yeah.
Alright, so you see here the RGB, the codes.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the mathematical formula for 100% white.
Oh, 255, 255, 255.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Okay.
So that's how you know it's 100% white.
No.
So you can learn all this hex code, or you could just look up white hex code or a specific, like, I don't know, say orchid hex code, and you can type it in here, like where it says F F F F F F F F.
Mm-hmm.
That's another way of doing it.
Yeah, let's look up the hex codes. No, I got it. Okay, wait. So now I need to do the wrap, and those need to be a gray again.
Yeah, I did like a gray for that, like a darker gray for the actual lines.
Oh, see, it's my face and personality. Yeah, just me. 100% offend you. Only 100% of the time, basically. I'm glad you're getting it now. Kind of worried there for a second that you wouldn't be getting it, but no, you got it.
I guess they're both mean.
Mine looks really weird. I think the see, I told you. Yeah, I know. Yeah, mine looks weird. My handle looks weird. Yours looks better because it's not like a line.
Exactly. That's why I went like out of my way to this little bumpies, because wraps are hardly ever 100% lined. I think especially because it's like a perfect rectangle in yours.
Yeah.
So it gives it that like.
Should I switch that?
You can.
So how would I tackle this? So
Go back to the layer where you first made the original thing, and then just add to it.
I have no idea. I'm gonna assume it's this one.
You could always turn them on and off and see what turns off. That's what I do when I don't label my layers the way that I should.
Yeah, it was this one. I'm gonna turn off this one. And this one there. So he told you, hey, what happened? I thought you were streaming. I saw your stream notification pop up. And then you're not even streaming. Wait, I think if I see how you did it, it'll help.
Alright. Just give me a hot second so I can turn off this layer. So you can see. Does that help?
Kind of, but I don't know how I'm gonna transfer that into mine.
Alright, so I'm gonna make a new layer and then try and copy what you did so I can show you how I would tackle that problem.
Okay, thank you.
Right, so I see. I can't even draw a perfect rectangle. Alright. Let's pretend that's a perfect rectangle. Right? So what you want to do is add these like bumpies on the side and add a variation. So I would just go in and add random intervals, like little chunks here and there, to what you already have existing as your base. Then I would color this. I would go in with the gray and then just kind of, sort of, I guess, align these together. Actually, press the button. Yeah, I kind of aligned these wraps together like that. Does that make sense? Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I guess it still doesn't. It still looks weird, but
you know, one of the biggest things that I learned in art school is that it's gotta look ugly before it looks pretty.
That's true.
Yeah.
You got super lucky with your voice. Somebody who creates human beings, whatever. Anyway, somebody really loved you because your personality is fucking awful, and yet I legit laugh because it makes me happy. I'm screwed up in the head. No, it doesn't make sense. It's okay, Invader. I understand. I know how messed up you are. I've seen your stream. You're pretty crazy. Dude, if I do... Okay, so now we have to do the shadows, right?
Yeah, so I'm doing it like a specific way that you feel free to follow along or try your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at my stream, let's see, yeah. So basically, I did like an outline of like all black,
Mm-hmm.
and then I lowered it to like 30% opacity, and then it gets to that like I guess sort of fading thing. And I did the exact same thing for the white. Then I'm gonna go back in and add an even darker shade of gray here. Does that help out?
I think so. Just
Yeah.
let me give it a shot.
Now that I think about it, I think I started this wrong. It happens.
Okay, so like in the reference, like the whole thing is like shaded. Should I just copy this or?
You can. I'm just making mine like this with different hues to make it a little more interesting. Well, because I understand lighting a little bit further than you. So you can either follow the reference or you can try and figure it out based on like the wall in the PowerPoint slide and try and apply the same principles.
I think I'm gonna do the reference for now.
It's perfectly fine.
I'm so offended, except I'm autistic, therefore no, I feel nothing. Lol, I can't believe I just used the emote. Yuck. Oh no, Invader. You're trying to blend in with the younger people, I see. It's not good.
All right. I'm gonna look up something real quick to put in the background because I'm not sure how it go.
No, don't go there again, Robert. It hurts me bladder. Yeah, you're actually psycho, but okay.
What did you say? It hurts me bladder.
Yeah.
What?
I have no idea what you're saying.
She turned into Mr. Krabs. Robert, me boy. Hurt me bladder.
Dude, I love Mr. Krabs.
I know, he's like, I love it. Like, I think Clancy Brown is the name of the actor.
Mm-hmm.
In every movie he's in, I'm always like, oh shit, it's Mr. Krabs. I really want to meet that dude.
You should make that your goal in life.
Yeah, it's really achievable because he goes to conventions all the time.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that website where you can pay like celebrities to like shout you
Cameo?
out?
Yeah. Dude, okay, so I've been like super, I guess, jealous or whatever. Because when one of my friends graduated from, I guess, the school that I went to, one of our other friends paid for the voice actor of Master Chief to tell him that he finished the fight. I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Dude, some of them are not even that expensive, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I've gotten, there's a couple Lifeline ones, or not Lifeline, couple Apex ones there that I've been kind of tempted to.
Ooh, nice. Like which ones?
I know Lifeline is there. I want to say Mozzie's on there. Or not Mozzie, what's his name? Is it Mozzie? No, Fuse. I'm thinking, no, never mind. I'm thinking of Rainbow Six. Mozzie's on there, I think.
Oh, okay.
Who else? I want to say... Dude, I can't remember. It's been so long. Lifeline is for sure on there.
Okay.
I'm going to look it up in a bit. Wait, okay. So looking at the reference, how am I supposed to know where the light's coming from? It looks weird. Wow, it means my it hurts my bladder. No, you're a pirate. It hurts me bladder.
Alright, so looking at the reference, the light source is coming from the...
Like the left?
Straight the left. It's not even top left or bottom. It's just straight up from the left.
So how come it's not getting that like top section of the right side?
What do you mean?
Like, so the like bottom right quadrant of the blade is like a shadow, and the top one isn't. Like I don't see any. It's no different.
I think they might. So the main light source is definitely coming from the left, and they might have like a 3 or 4 lights set up. So there's different light sources.
Okay.
It's easier to just choose one and then do everything according to that. But if you wanna try and emulate it as best as you can, then you can also go ahead. And both of those are fine.
Then I guess I'll do. I think I'll do one more then. I think the reference has like a shadow and like a left top. That's actually sweet of you. Stop. No, but I got anxiety as usual, but hardcore. So I saw you streaming and came here to chill. See how sweet I am? Oh no. You're the one that's responsible for me being closer to my scary stream, so I don't know how sweet you are.
You have a really valid point, Robert.
Yeah, she actually legit got me like 4 followers. Cause she got me like another one yesterday after I stopped streaming, and then 2 days ago another one of her like usuals came and followed me off stream. Don't you even? Look, I'm 2 followers away from playing my scary game. More are coming. Look, tomorrow I'll give you guys maybe a freebie. If you can get me 2 more by tomorrow, then I won't consider it a freebie, I guess. But well, no, I'll consider it a freebie. I don't know. You're getting a freebie regardless. I'm playing Resident Evil tomorrow.
Just because you want to?
Yeah, just because I want to. I wanted to make it like the scary game, but I feel like that's cheaty, so I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, it's cheating.
It is.
It needs to actually be scary.
It is scary. Shut up. Oh, dude, it plays nothing like the I played the demo to like run it on my PC to see if I could stream it.
Yeah.
And it plays nothing like Resident Evil 2. It plays more like Outlast, it feels.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I might be interested in that then.
Yeah.
Also, it's 9:05, so class is over.
Class is over, people. I finished my assignment, Professor. I used 3 colors. Wait, no, don't tell me. 3 colors. There's an outline. And I finished the project, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping you'd go a little bit harder, but yeah, I guess technically you did.
No, wait, I can do just a little more. Wait, I see a little bit more. Hold on. I see, like, here. And, like...
Also, I know why your outline looks weird.
Why?
Like your wraps. Move it, move that layer, like, a little bit down, like 1 or 2 down.
This one that I'm on right now, the shadow one?
No, the one that's like where you outline the wrap and you added the bumpies.
Ooh. Okay, move it down.
Yeah.
There.
It's a little bit of a delay, so I'm gonna have to give me a hot second.
It was there originally, now it's here.
Move it down again. I hate this delay.
I'm sorry, there's nothing you can do.
I will point this. You should have that like outermost. Well, actually, I'm gonna pirate your stream, so I can point it at my mouse.
Are you saying the actual outline should be at the very front?
Yeah, like this one where my mouse is at. That should be below this layer.
Huh?
The actual outline should be below this layer.
The O should be, yeah, it is right now.
Oh, I see how you did it. Never mind. I don't think it's possible for you to change it like that.
Did I mess up?
Never mind. It's fine. It's just I did all the wrap stuff in their own layers and all the knife stuff in their own other layers. That's fine. Well, anyway, so if you feel like doing some more homework assignment, you know, I'm here to accept more homework assignments.
Wait, now something's wrong.
What's wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. Never mind.
Okay. So if you look at my stream, this is how I'm flexing, and I'm gonna call this bad boy done. So I would just, the last thing you gotta do when you finish is you gotta sign it.
Gotta sign it? Okay, I'm done. Okay,
Yeah.
Sign it. Let's see. How do I sign it? Just whatever? How do you sign it? Let me see. E-R.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
E-R for
There, I put R-G for...
There you go.
Oh, there's nothing for that, but okay.
For erg?
For... Okay. Hey, this actually doesn't look like terrible.
Yeah, so just a matter of keep practicing, keep looking at references, and I would encourage you, if you want to improve, just do this exact same exercise with another one of the reference images.
Yeah, I might actually do that.
Cool. Well, I'm going to end the stream, so catch you boyos later. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah,
appreciate the lurk. Yeah, I hope you guys learned something, and if you want to follow along next time, just follow the link in the I guess comments or whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, let me shout out Eric.
Yeah, do shout me out, because I want to see if I get any followers. I want to see the gift playing, because I never get to see it. Cool. Well, thanks for the shout out. Alright, that's fine. I'll probably just log off then. Right, well, so yeah, catch you guys later. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate the lurks. And see you guys next week for another programming lesson that I'm going to have with Robbert. Bye.